Good day and welcome back to a chapter a day. You'll see I have changed my venue a bit today again because it needed to be done. It's Wednesday, February the 28th, and we have one more day to go in February, and we'll be reading chapter 8 today. So again, we started the showdown, if you want to call it that, between Moses and Pharaoh, rather between God and Satan. And Moses is presenting before Pharaoh all of these different signs to show how powerful God is, so that it would encourage him to let the people of Israel go. But Pharaoh's heart is hardening because his magicians can replicate the same signs. And yeah, let's see what happens now in chapter 8 of Exodus. And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants. And the Lord spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, Entreat the Lord that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me, when shall I entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy the frogs from thee and thy house, that they may remain in the river only? And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord God, our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people. They shall only remain in the river. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Lord because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there was lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magicians said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And the Lord did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into the servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, Go ye, sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to the Lord our God, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only you shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. And let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses. And he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go. End of chapter 8 of Exodus. Now to recap. So we see Moses and Aaron are before Pharaoh. The first plague, or the first sign that was shown to Pharaoh, was the river turning to blood. The waters of the river turned to blood. Pharaoh still did not let the people go. Then the frogs in chapter 8, the next plague we read for chapter 8 were frogs. Again, Pharaoh said he would let them go. Moses said, okay, they will go. They will disappear off the land. They will remain in the river. Pharaoh changed his mind, didn't let the people go. Then Aaron stretched out his rod. The earth became lice. Now, his craftsmen, if I can call them that, were able to replicate that first. They did the one with the rod, and this when the rod turned into the snake. That was not a plague. That was just a sign to show, hey, we mean business. Then the first one with the frogs, with the water turning blood, they were able to replicate. The second one with the frogs, they were able to replicate. The third one with the lice, they were not able to replicate. So they told Pharaoh, hey, this is the hand of God, just because they couldn't do it. Yeah, they have to finally acknowledge this is something greater than us. Pharaoh still hardened his heart. And the fourth plague were swarms of flies. And Pharaoh is saying to Moses is saying, let us go so that we can go out of Egypt and do our sacrifice to God. So Pharaoh is saying, if you will entreat God for me to let the flies go, I will remove all the flies from off of your land. And Moses did that, and every fly was taken away. And guess what Pharaoh did? Hardened his heart again and did not let the people go. So we will see what goes on next with this showdown. I call it this fight between God and Satan. That's who's really fighting. God is represented by Moses and Pharaoh by Satan. So until our next reading, I pray you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for viewing. Bye.